Look on there and see how it's streaming on yours.
Well, it's not.
No, no. Refresh the page and it's gonna show us live. So this is basically I'm just gonna my connection. I lost connection, and then I also streamed a video that I thought was streaming for like 20 minutes, and I was talking to myself, and it didn't. It wasn't streaming on live. So I'm gonna redo do everything that I just shared earlier. Is that what I was saying earlier was basically that the battery post that holds my battery in. So as you can see, the screw goes in here. The battery post, the screw broke off into the plastic, into the plastic chassis, and so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to fix that issue. I'm gonna either try to tap it or um, maybe I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. But they do sell reverse drill bits and also self tapping, or not self tapping, but uh, screws. May you turn that down, please? They also sell kits that can extract the screw, but it's in a plastic. The screw is in a plastic housing, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. So temporarily, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of Velcro right here and also a piece of Velcro on this side, so I can strap the battery down. But I'm not going to enjoy doing that for very long, so I'm going to have to try to figure out a fix for that. And I also had the same thing happen to my Merv about a week before this happened. My Merv, um, I had so I was driving this one morning, and I had aluminum A arms. These were silver aluminum A arms, and I hit a curb with this front tire. And what happened was my pillow ball, my pillow ball, the this pillow ball, but on the opposite side, the screw broke off into the aluminum A arm, and so I also have to. Well, I had to think about trying to tap that one, and I was trying to drill it out with a regular drill bit, and the drill bit broke. So what I ended up doing was I ended up buying a um, just the stock A arms. I ended up buying the stock A arms and putting those in, but I also had to wait for a pair of pillow balls. I went to 3 hobby shops in where I live in Phoenix, and none of them had the pillow balls. So I came to Tucson for the weekend, and I called the hobby shop, and they had the pillow balls. So what I did was I bought those and I replaced them. So now my Merv is fixed 100%, and it is super fast because I replaced the batteries. I had some batteries that were about 3 years old, and they were 3 cell. They were 1450 milliamps, and they were 25C discharge rate. So I upgraded to these, and they're 3 cell, 1800 milliamp, and they're 50C discharge rate. So they're about double what the other 3 cell batteries were. And this thing makes this car fly. So I got 2 of those, one right there and then one right here. They're both the same exact battery. I got 2 of those, and this car flies. But the same day, no, I think the week before, I was driving this with the new 3 cell battery, and the foam. There was a big piece of foam that came out of this, and it was a big chunk about this big and about that high, and I stopped driving it for the day, and then I took it back out, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna run these tires until they fall apart completely. And what ended up happening was the foam just tore off. but I am gonna have to buy a new soon. And I'm gonna have to buy a new set of tires soon, and that's about it. I mean, I'm not gonna do any upgrades to this until something breaks. But I am gonna upgrade the A arms. I am gonna upgrade the both the front and the back, top and rear, or top and bottom. A arms to RPM. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go with red or blue, because my body is green. My other body that I tore it up so bad that I couldn't even use the pins in it anymore. It was blue, and I like blue is my favorite color. My favorite color. So um, I I I'm not sure what color I'm gonna get yet, but those are the upgrades that I am gonna do pretty soon. I'm not gonna upgrade anything else until it breaks. I did upgrade the caster blocks. They're black. They're HR, which I'm not sure what brand that is. Um, but they're black caster blocks, and the other ones were plastic. And what happened after driving it for a couple years was these wheels had a lot of play in them. So if you try to move it from side to side, they had a lot of play, and it made the car wobble whenever I was driving it. So I had to upgrade those. I had to upgrade the steering servo from the Traxxas stock with plastic gears to the Savix. It's going to be the Savix. Let me see if I can get the numbers in there for you. It'll be the Savix SW-0250MG. It's a waterproof servo with metal gears, and the turn rate is a lot faster than the stock servo. So it responds faster when you turn, and I haven't had any issues with the gear stripping, obviously. So that's a must-have. The steering servo is a must-have upgrade for most RC cars. I just bought a heat sink recently. I put it on maybe a month ago, and I put a whole bunch of glue. I wiped it off. This is probably the third or fourth time I wiped it off, and I'm gonna have to wipe it again because it keeps oozing out. But I'm not. I can't really tell if it helps. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure if it helps. The motor still heats up, just like before. I mean, maybe it helps a little bit, but to tell you the truth, I cannot tell any difference. And that's about it for this one. That's about all the upgrades. I am gonna have to upgrade the post, the body mount post, because whenever I flip it over, these things, the plastic always gets tore up, and the pins don't stay in as well. So I'm gonna upgrade those posts, and that's really it. I do have a new addition to the RC collection, which I am going to show you now, and it is going to be the 1/10 scale e-Revo. So there's the 1/16th scale mini e-Revo, and that is the 1/10 scale. I'm not sure if I said 1/16th. Well, that's the 1/16th. That's the 1/10th e-Revo, and this thing is a blast to play with, and it's fast. The kid that I bought it from, he was maybe 14 or 15, and he had bought it a year ago from a hobby shop, and they had a brush motor. And what he ended up putting on here was a Mamba Monster setup with the ESC and the motor. This is going to be a censored. It's going to be a censored brushless 4-pole motor from Castle. And he installed that. He also installed the ESC. It has the the heat sink with the fan, but it is not the right heat sink. So there's a gap between the motor and the heat sink and the fan, and people say that if there is a gap, it actually causes the heat to collect in between that space, which I am not sure. I cannot confirm or deny yet, but it does seem that the motor does get hot. But I'm not sure if that's just the motor by itself, or if this has something to do with it. So I may have to replace the heatsink and get a new one that actually fits this motor, as well as a new fan, or maybe this fan will be able to mount onto the other heatsink. But that's really it for this. I mean, it's a beast. It has a lot of um, suspension travel compared to the Merv. That's my suspension travel, and that is my suspension travel on this one. It has the dual servos. I'm gonna have to upgrade those sometime to steel servos. It doesn't have any upgrades besides that, and the motor in the ESC. It has the plastic Aarms, plastic drive shafts. Um, yeah, it's basically all stock. It's basically all stock. Besides that, the kid took pretty good care of it. It does look pretty dirty right now because I took it out and played in the grass, and it got all wet and dirty and muddy like the second day I had it. So, but this car compared to this car right now, whenever I'm driving it, the 1/10 scale has a lot more body roll, which allows it not to flip over nearly as much as this one. This one, I have the suspension set up pretty stiff, so it rolls pretty often whenever I'm driving it. And this one, it just kind of like sways almost like a boat, like a old Cadillac. And I kind of like it, so I might change the setup on this one to more soft, and maybe it won't roll as bad. But I'm gonna race these pretty soon. I'm gonna go out and race them probably tomorrow. Because I'm interested in seeing which one is faster, because this one with the 3S is like a monster, and this one, the 1/10 scale, is a monster too. But for some reason, maybe it's just because the tires are so much bigger, this one just looks like the tires rotate faster whenever I hold it upside down and hit the gas. So I'm gonna race them soon and see which one's faster. But I'm really happy with my purchase on the 1/10 scale, and I also love my Merv. They're both really fun to drive, and you can drive them off road, which is a lot better than my Rustler, because my Rustler you can mainly drive on concrete only. It doesn't do very good on grass. I mean, you can drive it in dirt, but it doesn't do nearly as well as these two cars. So that's my latest addition, and it's a lot of fun. My Merv, it's a lot of fun too. And that's about it. I'm gonna have to fix my Rustler. I'm gonna have to get a new piece. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get an aluminum piece to fix this, as well as upgrade these. I'm not sure what upgrades are available right now, but I'm gonna have to upgrade these too. I'm not sure if I told you this, but I had upgraded the battery to a 3-cell. This is a 2-cell, and I run it for a couple years. Actually, you know what? I've only had this battery for about a year, and as you can see, it's starting to balloon up a little bit, it's starting to swell. And I recently upgraded to a 3-cell battery, and my plastic drive shafts that I have in here, that piece right there, right where it enters the transmission, that piece